Hey folks, this is Joel from Weis Comm, cost-effective vehicle and machinery additives. Just a cross-section on the products that we have, and we use them in our own vehicles and our own business. This is a 1995 RG Colorado turbo diesel 2.8 litre. Use all the products in this right through from the engine, diff, gearbox, terrain, fuel, the whole thing. So this is one of the vehicles that we use our cost-effective maintenance products in. This is another one of our vehicles that we use. This is a 2006 model petrol Camry. Use the fuel injection cleaner, anywhere in the auto transmission, engine, flush in the engine, as well as using the FTC in the fuel. So this is another vehicle that we use all the products on. Another vehicle we use the products on. This is a 2004 2.7 normally aspirated diesel Kia van. Products are the flush in the engine, which has made an amazing difference on the engine. We've used FTC in the fuel as the catalyst and carbon burner. We've also used the anti-wear in both the engine oil, diff and gearbox, as well as the radiator in all vehicles as well. This here is a 7 metre Whitley. It's got a 2.4 litre diesel Volvo turbo and supercharged engine. Wasn't in real good nick when we bought it, and once again we've used all the products in this, and it's restored amazing life back to it. Another little engine that has copped all the products, once again made an amazing difference, is this little Husqvarna 17 horsepower Briggs & Stratton mower. Did a flush on it, anti-wear in it. It used to stall when the grass is long. Now it doesn't stall. It complains, but the engine doesn't stop and backfire like it used to. Amazing difference. So this is a Holden Epica diesel. It's got a 2 litre diesel in it, and the cost-effective products we used in this. Amazing difference. This car had severe lag up to 60 k's an hour. Now that we've cleaned it all out with the products, totally different vehicle. Goes like a rocket from 0 to whatever you want to go.
Good to go.
Okay, so these are the products, the range that we have here. As you can see, we've got our fuel injection cleaners, our fuel catalysts, a marine product, the oil flush, the anti-wear, radiator, rust inhibitor, and also a rust treatment. I'll talk about these individually. So this one here is the CRD fuel enhancer. Now this is basically an injector cleaner. It has detergents in it which cleans all your lines, your injectors. It also has a lubricant, so for your common rail diesel, all the high pressure, covers all that side of it. It also has, when the spray happens, the detergent allows dispersing. So basically eliminates, reduces and prevents harsh injector rattle in common rail diesel engines. Very good product, and has actually saved a lot of people a lot of money, especially when they've had bad fuel. So that one is for the diesels. Normally aspirated, common rail, turbo, the works. Your clean power, safety using your petrols. Definitely don't use that one in your petrols, otherwise you'll have an oxygen sensor problem come up. But this is the clean power. Same thing, it's an injector cleaner, carby cleaner. I use it in my ride-on, my weed eaters, all that sort of stuff. Keeps them running really good. And I actually did a test. I had some injector cleaner here that I used for a long time and hadn't really seen any real difference. I'd used it for probably 15 years, and I screwed the lid off it one day and I sniffed it. Then I screwed the lid off this and I sniffed it. It was like someone smacked me in the head. The strength of this stuff would have been 20 to 30 times stronger, and that's why it works. People sometimes query the price, but the stuff does work. So that's your petrol injector cleaner. Now we've got a fuel catalyst. FTC decarbonizer. Now basically what this stuff does, you put it in at the required dose, it mixes with the fuel, it improves the octane, it makes all the fuel ignite. So it has a flash point slightly lower than the diesel, and it makes all the fuel burn 100%. You can also put it in petrol. Now what it does is it burns all the carbon from the exhaust base. So where on the tops of your pistons and rings, where carbon would form and develop and eventually give you a problem with glazing your bore and that sort of thing, it cleans all that out. It also cleans out all your exhaust lines, so your valve stems all the way out, valve seats, your turbo vanes, they'd normally get clogged with carbon. This stuff will actually burn that carbon off right through even to your DPFs. So instead of having a problem with clogged DPFs, if you continually use this stuff in your fuel, you won't have an issue. There's also a marine variant with it that basically has the CRD pre-mixed with it. So instead of having to decant this and decant that, it's already ready in the marine version. Now the marine version is a little stronger, but it also can be pre-mixed for road use. So if you want to buy it for your, say, trucks or something like that, and you don't want to have the guys mucking around with two different containers, you can buy it pre-mixed. So that's the marine version, but there is also a road version. Now when you do your maintenance, flushing the engine is really important. I was actually surprised at how good this flush works. This one here, flushing oil concentrate. Now in my boat, it had a bit of a hard life before I bought it. It hadn't been looked after well, and it was quite filthy inside. Like when you pulled the oil cap off and looked inside, it was pitch black. The head was a dull grey colour. It had lumps of black, what looked like black snot hanging everywhere, big lumps of crusty stuff stuck everywhere. Did a flush with it, and I couldn't believe it. When I pulled the cap off and looked in there, all those rocker arms were as shiny as, just like someone had cleaned it up with a little wire brush and a drill. Now this stuff has cleaned our Kia van out, as we showed you before. It's restored life back to it, and it's also restored the Epica back to where it drives better than we ever got it when we bought it second hand. So flushing your oil when you do an oil change, really important. Anti-wear. Now this stuff is as slippery as a banana peel on a boat ramp. I've added it to all my vehicles, and especially in the turbo diesels, you really can tell the performance. I've actually driven it before I've added it, and then driven it the same circuit again after adding it, and you can tell that you have increased performance. Some very good specs on that as well too, with towing, dropping temperature of gearboxes and so forth. It's really good stuff. Corrosion inhibitor, your RMI. Now I've used this in my boat. When I first got the boat, the radiator was rusty as, the water was just like brown. Added this stuff, about a month or two later I pulled the water pump out, and I was surprised to see that even though the water when I first got it was so rusty, how much this stuff had cleaned it up. Once again, it looked like someone had buffed it with a wire brush. And of course there's also the X-Trol rust converter. Now this stuff, basically you just clean the rust up, remove all the loose rust, paint it on, and it goes to work and stops the rust. So they're the products, folks. If you ever want to know any information, feel free to contact me. Our email is on the YouTube link, and also mobile number there. But from my experience, I've now used these products for about 2 years, and they really have made a difference to my vehicles and machines, and I really recommend that you use them as well. And if you'd like to know any other information, feel free to give us a call here at Weis. Until our next video, cheers folks.